Hello, so this is our third teaching games review. So let's take a look from the start what happened in this game. So first we played this very classic Joseki, and then I actually played a bit incorrect move here. Normally white just extends in this way. This is the very usual move. White can also think about this Kosumi, which is, let's say, more active. However, this is like the most solid move in the situation. This move is basically trying to do both at the same time. White is trying to be active on the left side and also at the same time to block the corner, but white needs to be aware of this Aji. And basically white needs to be really careful. When black gets some stones in this area, then black can actually aim for continuation at c5. So white needs to be really careful. However, this move used to be considered as incorrect in the past, but recently it happens quite often in professional games because the attitude is like that once white plays this low move, then not everyone will develop here. Like maybe some people will think about Tenuki, but when white is here on the fourth line, then black will extend for sure on the for sure at the bottom side. Just white needs to be concerned about c5. I think that's the only difference it makes. So that was actually one of the reasons why I decided to add another move here, to make sure that black will not enter the left side so easily and that we will not try to exploit the c5 Aji. So this is a correct direction of play, and then I approached from here, and black played Kosumitsuke and Keima, which I think it's a bit incorrect here because I think this is actually a pretty good chance how to develop the bottom side in a large scale. For example, black can play like this, and once white enters the corner, then black can just build a side here and then, for example, choose this variation, which we have already reviewed in the past. So it actually makes the bottom territory pretty nice. So I think this would be pretty nice result for black, not only regarding the bottom side territory, but also black can try to build something here on the right side. So that's why this is probably the best what black can do here locally. This kick is of course good in regarding protecting the corner, but actually the potential of the bottom side goes down a lot. Like this move and the fourth line and this thickness is not really effective anymore. White has a stone here and also here, so black will not really have a chance to develop towards the center. So that's why I think playing the kick and the Keima here is probably not the best variation black can choose. So So here in the game, black decided to play very aggressive. Here that black omitted the extension at the top and instead played the double pincer here on the right side. It's a very aggressive move, but I mean black needs to be aware of this move and needs to know how to continue here. If black would just decide to play here, which is probably the normal move here, then white would just get this formation, which probably black didn't like too much. However, still we already know from the past time that black has, for example, this nice move how to reduce the right side. So I don't think it's a big deal to give this formation to white. However, playing this is let's say destroying the intention, but black really needs to be sure about how to continue after this. And this move is actually too much concerned about the corner. But black is just focusing to live in the corner too much, not trying to attack white or not building any territory at the top side. Probably normally black would like to play like this, but if white cuts and then extends once, then basically white can get all of these center moves around. And if this happens, then I think black failed because black's corner is too small, white's thickness is too strong, and basically these two stones are almost wasted. So that's why this sequence is very promising for white. So that's why I wouldn't choose this as black. And black actually has a very ugly move here, but very effective one at the same time, and it's to play here. And this is really hard to answer for white because if white continues here, then black will just separate, and white is suddenly separated into two groups, and black doesn't really mind if this happens because black is still very fine in the corner. And if white tries to play here, then Probably cutting like this is already a bit too aggressive because this cut can be problematic. But if black doesn't continue here and just continues to play like this, there is already a big difference because white cannot cut so easily here. White will not get so many center moves around, and this cut is still here. So actually, this is already a very big difference if black just gets this exchange for this. So this was a very good timing, and actually black could play the exchange even after white turn here. Like still this is very good timing to play it. Actually even now black can still do it, because if white extends here, then black can just separate white, and white has two weak groups. And especially it's hard to deal with them once black has two helping stones here on the sides. So it's a very difficult situation for white. So I think this was still a good chance when to play it, and if black gets this exchange, then black can just come back to the corner, and actually this cut is still alive. So I think this would be probably the most active play what black can do locally. So like this, basically white got again all of the center moves, and white can also continue to develop some attack on the right side. I'm not sure if this is the best move, but this is surely the most active move. We can actually see this kind of cap often in handicap games. Here it's maybe slightly too much, but basically the intention was to use the thickness at the top somehow. So that's why I played here, and black played Keima. I played extension, and I think this sequence is fine for black, but I think black should just omit this peep, because if black plays here, it doesn't make much difference in the shape, and it's really important for black to keep this peep from the other side alive. So that's why this peep, it doesn't really give any benefit to black. It actually damages black's shape at the bottom. Here, actually, once again, I think this connection is very painful, so actually black should play more active here. If black would try to play like this, then it's probably problematic, because white can create a double peep like this, but I think black can once again play an empty triangle here. So if this happens, for example, then white stone in the center is becoming very weak, and if white connects under like this, black can just start to attack it in this way, and I think black's reduction on the right side is not bad. Like white is really low there, and black has quite a strong thickness towards the center, so this is probably not a bad result for black. So this connection is just too soft. I think like white's exchange is too good. However, this peep is a good timing. It's just a pity there is not this exchange is here. Like if white answers here, then black can just play this exchange, and then black can actually continue this way, because in the game black had to protect the bottom side somehow, but I think if black gets both of the peeps, it's not necessary. So this and actually still white's stick here is quite heavy, so I think this would be still a quite an okay fight for black. Yeah, that was what I was talking about. Black needs to come back to protect the bottom side somehow, and still it's actually not 100% secured. Like some sequence like this can be still problematic for black. At least white will steal part of the corner. So because black had to defend the bottom side, white has actually an opportunity to switch here into the center, and now it's actually white who is surely attacking black here. And even though black somehow managed to live in quite an okay way, still I think white got quite a lot of benefit. Like white got these two moves which are good. White also strengthened the group in the bottom in the top right corner, and basically white forced black to surround this stone by a lot of moves. So I think white's attack was successful after all. Our black played this move exactly on time, because there was actually danger that white might actually build a very big framework on the left side. So that's why playing here it's definitely a good invasion point, and white needs to answer it. And also white needs to separate black like this, and black gets this ideal extension and on the left side. So actually at this point black is still doing fairly fine. At this point, black actually decided to play in a very aggressive way. This is very brave move, and I really admire such fighting spirit. But once black enters such fight, black needs to be sure what will happen and has to pay attention on all of the details, because still this group on the left side has some weakness inside. This stone is still not connected, and there is actually a third weak stone which black just made. Personally, I would probably just play something like this, like I would just reinforce the group on the left side and then connect under the stone at the top. I don't see a way how white could manage to cut down 50 points deficit at this point. Of course, white already managed to cut something, but it's far from 50, definitely. So I think that's probably how black should play here. Probably this would be probably a proper move, and then to connect under through N18. So white decided to play this very vulgar move. Probably the most common move would be to play this Kosumi directly. But if black gets this attachment, then actually black can live very easily in the corner like this, for example. So this would be definitely quite a fine sacrifice for black. So white didn't want to enter this variation. So that's why white decided to play this vulgar bump first, and then white can play here. On the other hand, black actually got this move which was threatening to connect under through H18, and actually white should be really worried about some shape troubles in the corner. Like this move can be still very troublesome, I think, so white needs to be really careful. But of course black cannot afford to play this immediately, because this would be actually fourth weak group which black would make, so probably it's too early to enter there. But white needs to be really careful about that, so that's why white plays this peep, and then white actually starts this double attack, and this actually becomes a very important key point of the game. If black would play Hane from the outside, and white probably just plays like this, for example, and now suddenly this black stick in the center is becoming very weak, so probably white this would be very successful for white. So black decided to cut through and try to connect, which is actually working quite fine. Especially this move is very annoying for white, because white needs to answer it. And white needs to answer it in this way, because if white answers this way, then black will go through, and there is still a threat of this cut, and this stone will be likely gone, so black will probably make life in the center quite easily. So white needs to answer like this, but there is still this cut alive somehow. So actually at this point, it's really important for black to not miss this vital point. This is a very key point of the game, and if white would just connect here, and then black would probably just capture white very easily, like in this way, and thanks to the wedge and squeeze, then white would just die inside. So actually for white it's really important to take this liberty, which will actually help, because white can then play this attachment, and white will manage to capture the two stones on the side. So it seems like that white succeeded here, but in fact black will just manage to connect all of those structures, and I don't see a possibility how black could die with everything in the center. So this connection would be actually very important for black, and I think black is still doing fine. In the game black played here, which is actually one of the losing moves, definitely, because white can manage to capture the side like this without almost any agi, and black actually played another slow move, because black all of a sudden black basically just started to focus on making eyes, which is definitely not enough at this situation. White can actually get more from the attacking, and finally now black made some kind of base in the center. But if we remember what was the situation on the left side, that black had some group there, and now there is white super big territory. Actually, white is already coming very close, especially when white managed to close all this territory at the top side. Still, the difference is probably not 50 points, but the game is already very close at this point. So Also, thanks to being so strong in this area, then probably black cannot resist this problem. However, if this exchange wouldn't be here, then black can just exchange this peep and they'll go down. I don't see a possibility how white could manage here, because this extension black can just easily block. If this extension is not there, then probably black cannot so easily block, because white can cut and cut through like this. So this would be very problematic for black. And if black extends, then white can already have some chance to try to make some life in the corner. So this would be annoying. So probably black needs to block from here and give up part of the corner. So some endgame happen, and here we actually come to the decisive moment of the game. At this point, the only possibility to think about is to connect under at the bottom. Just we need to think about how. This would be too ordinary, right? So definitely black should think about some move on the second line to get some endgame. Like this, black will not only get an endgame, but also white needs to protect here, and black will get this monkey jump. So actually like this, black would probably still maintain a very close lead, I think. But in the game black played here, black probably made an oversight here, because black probably thought that he can underconnect in this way. So white separates black here, and black loses really a lot of points. And from this point now on, white is already too far ahead. Basically, capturing these stones is worth at least 20 points, probably more like 30. So actually from this point now on, there is only a small end game left, and not much has happened. At some situation, black probably played too careful, but there were no major incidents happening. This is actually the only interesting situation, because if white wouldn't answer this card, then black can cut here. White will have to try to capture black like this, and then actually after the empty triangle, once again in this game, empty triangle is a good move. Then actually this Kosumi kills white at the top. So white just needs to protect here, and from this point now on, there is probably not much happening in the game, just some small endgame parts here. So actually in this game there were a few important moments. First, there were some issues in the Fuseki, especially at the top right corner. Definitely black could play much more active there. White got simply just too much there. Then black actually handled quite nicely the group in the center, but just closing the bottom side is not enough in an even game, but in such a handicap game is definitely fine. Then black actually showed a very nice sequence on the left side, and then fighting spirit at the top. But in the most crucial moment, black just started to focus on living by this move and this move, and for that black missed this super important vital point, which was actually a key point in that fight. Basically, if we are fighting such a fight, every move and every detail is important, and B12 is definitely such an example. White basically got this move and this move for that, and black's group in the center was quite annoyingly attacked, and the game became already very close. However, the decisive moment came at the bottom side, where black made an oversight and played an overplay here. If black would go down and just play it a normal end game, then probably black would still have winning chances. So I think probably that's the summary of this game. Thank you for watching.